Today we just got the reveal for Black Ops 6. Now mainly it was campaign, but believe it or not, we got a decent amount of zombies information, or things that are just new features that also affect zombies, and I want to go over all of that, and all of it is very exciting, and I'm really hyped for this zombies game mode. So if you guys are feeling a similar way, then make sure to drop a like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff, and let's get right into this zombies information. First off, a big one, there will be 2 round-based maps at launch, and the names of these maps are Terminus Islands and Liberty Falls. Now we actually saw some gameplay of Terminus, and I think the biggest takeaway from seeing this is that the map looks absolutely humongous. Now similar to Mob of the Dead, this is actually an island prison. Now it's not Alcatraz, it's actually based on a Japanese island somewhere in that ocean that's there. And what you can see when this gameplay zooms out, there's like a giant area to play there. And this doesn't even show the inside of the prison. And we do know you can be in the prison because some of the gameplay clips are there. So to me, I think this map is probably going to be one of the biggest maps we've ever seen. It just looks humongous, and I imagine it's going to play kind of tight just based on what we've seen. It doesn't look like there's a lot of open training areas or anything like that, so it might feel similar to, again, probably another prison map, Mob of the Dead. Now in this gameplay, there's a couple things to point out. First is that we see a mini boss, which just looks like a fat zombie. I don't know any other way to describe it. It just looks like a fat zombie. Maybe it has some cool abilities or something like that. I don't know. It kind of looks like just not that crazy, to be completely honest. I hope there's like a real mini boss on this, something similar to like a Panzer or something like that, something that actually stands out, or even a Megaton. So hopefully some cooler mini bosses show up, but that's all we saw in terms of enemies for there outside of the regular zombies. Another thing was actually we see this machine that I wanted to call a perk machine, but I don't really know if it is. Maybe it is, maybe it's something else. If you guys know what it is, let me know down in the comment section below. And the final and probably biggest eye-catching thing throughout this whole gameplay is this trap that they have here. And this trap is activated by a giant cannon on this boat, and it makes like a black hole sucking trap thing, and it just looks really cool. I like how it looks. I love seeing stuff like that in zombies, so huge ups for that. Now for the next map, we didn't actually see any gameplay, but we did learn from bigger zombies YouTubers who are actually flown out to Treyarch to learn about zombies that we actually know that the map is called Liberty Falls, and this will be set in a small town in West Virginia. And the only real information we have about that is that it's just kind of like a regular small town. There's a gas station, a bowling alley, and just small town looking things like that, right? And that should be something interesting, I guess. Now, one thing to be clear is that they did say this is not a Transit remake, reimagine, or anything like this. I know people were theorizing about that before, myself included, but it looks like this isn't a completely original map, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. At launch, we are getting 2 completely original maps, and that is absolutely amazing because we haven't been getting many of those for a long time. Like, these are unique areas from zombies, not just things reused from zombies in the past, but these aren't even things reused from campaign or multiplayer or even Warzone like we saw with Cold War. This is all original maps, and that's stuff I absolutely love to see in zombies. Now obviously these maps don't seem to be as fantastical as the maps in the past, but at least they're original and they're new areas we've never been before. Now moving on to the next big thing is that we will see, for the first time since 2018 with Black Ops 4, the return of a set playable crew that has story implications on the maps. So no more operators. Actually, there still is the option to use operators, but at least there's now a playable crew that is actually affected by the storyline. And we have this image of all 4 of them here, and some of them should be familiar to you, with them being Weaver, Gray, and Carver. These are the ones who used to radio into us during Cold War, and to me, I think this pretty much confirms what we all thought for a while, is that those were supposed to be the playable crew in Cold War, but for some reason the operator system was pushed into that game, and because of that, well, they just had to radio in. So thankfully that's no longer the case. We'll actually have playable crews who have quotes, and probably even conversational quotes, which I'm really excited to see the return of, and just stuff like that, which I'm glad to see. Now, of course, you may notice I only named 3 of them, because the last one is actually a brand new character, and we now know her name to be Maya. And we got a little bit of story background on this, but to understand her story, we have to understand what Weaver, Gray, and Carver are doing here. Because keep in mind, this is a prison map. Terminus Islands is a prison, and what happened at the end of Cold War? these 3 characters were arrested, and this seems like the prison that they've been at this whole time. And now with the zombies outbreak, with the help of Maya, she is breaking them free to get them out of this prison. But why is she doing this? We also have some information on this. She's actually working with Dr. Peck, another cliffhanger we saw at the end of Cold War. What did we see Dr. Peck do? He went and pointed at an island near Japan, and that is exactly this prison. So Maya's here to help Weaver, Gray, and Carver escape the prison. Always excited to see these playable characters returning, even a new one. I'm glad to see this, and I'm excited to see what they do with these characters in the future. Now, one interesting thing that was also mentioned is that these 2 maps, Liberty Falls and Terminus Island, actually take place at the exact same time. And I think this is important because that means that they're definitely going to have 2 different crews, because obviously you can't be in 2 places at once. And we don't really know which crew it could be, but I have a small little theory that it might just be a celebrity crew. Honestly, I feel like that might be what's going on here. There's always a celebrity crew, right? So, you know, this might be the celebrity crew map, which maybe it is, maybe it's not, because this is in America, and maybe that this is going to be like Rick Toff inside, because we know he works in the CIA, so maybe he's going to have a part to play here. Maybe not as a playable character, but, you know, it's his people or something like that. But I'm just personally hoping it is a celebrity crew here. But now it's time to get into the features, and the biggest one that's worth mentioning is the return of Gobblegums. Yes, Gobblegums are returning, and we even saw some with the pre-order bonus of the Vault Edition, and we actually see a lineup of them. And the main things to take away from this is that we do see different rarities similar to the ones we saw in BO3. We can see rare, ultra rare, and the other different rarity that's also there. Now, the color is more interesting to me because we only see 2 different colors, just red and orange, and we've never seen red Gobblegums before, so I'm curious how that's all going to work, because the colors were actually important in BO3. It let you know what type of Gobblegum it was. Was it one that you had to trigger yourself? Was it one that it instantly triggered? Or was it one that just worked in a different way? That's what the colors meant in BO3, so I'm curious to see how they handle that in this game. The last thing that's worth mentioning about the Gobblegums, though, is that they did confirm that you will be able to earn them in-game, and that they're also just a once-used consumable, at least for the higher rarity ones. Now, the next feature that's returning is actually the theater mode. Yeah, theater mode is back. I know it's back with everything, both multiplayer and zombies, but I'm glad to see it return in zombies. But one thing I am a little worried about is that the theater mode has kind of been trashed even when it was here in BO4 and even in BO3. Like, we haven't had a good theater mode since BO2, and that's over 10 years ago. So hopefully not only is this back, but hopefully it actually works right. Now, a new feature coming to the game as a whole is actually Omni movement, and I'm not going to go over it entirely, but the biggest reason why I think it's interesting for zombies is because you could actually sprint in any direction, including backwards. And I think that's important for training, because now if you could sprint backwards, it might make training like 10 billion times easier, right? I mean, maybe you could still get caught on some zombies, but mainly you want to watch your horde of zombies. You want to check back and say, hey, is this horde full or not? And you don't have to, you know, risk around just getting yourself killed, stopping too early, because obviously in the past, when you turned around, you slowed down a lot. So now you can sprint at full speed backwards. Hey, it could help a lot. Another cool feature is actually that there will be a customizable HUD. You could change it a lot too. From what we saw in the gameplay of this, you could do something as crazy as put your ammo count and everything on the middle of your screen, move your minimap all over the place. There's a lot of really cool customizable features. Hopefully even lets you turn on and off the minimap if you want it or not. And that's about it for the features. But one thing that I think is very much worth mentioning is that there will be no Outbreak or Modern Warfare Zombies type mode. Everything will be round-based zombies. And honestly, I'm just glad that's the case. Like, I was pro them trying new things, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the 2 things they tried really are worth bringing back. Maybe try something again in the future, but for now, just focus on round-based zombies. Make it as good as you can. And finally, when should we expect to see more zombies information being revealed? Well, they didn't really tell us. They just said there'll be a bigger zombies reveal later this year. And I think we have a pretty good idea, at least the month it's going to be in, because they also confirmed the reveal date for multiplayer in Warzone, which is going to be at COD Next on August 28th. and obviously the Zombies reveal is going to be after that, and there's not that many months between the multiplayer reveal and release. So more than likely, we're probably going to see Zombies get revealed in September. Like, I'd bet a lot of money that the Zombies reveal is going to be in September. It might be later, but I would think otherwise. But of course, the final date worth mentioning is the release date for this game, which will be on October 25th. Only 4 months away, guys, before we're playing round-based zombies from Treyarch again. But regardless though, that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys found this video informative or just entertaining in any way, shape, or form, I'd appreciate if you guys do all the normal YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff. But I'm excited for BO6. Let me know if you are, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.